Welcome to the online video series presented by Structure Studios. This video will review how to create freeform shapes. It's important to first watch the basic training series of videos to understand all of the techniques shown in this video. Before we start designing, we'll access the labels and guides and select the rectangle tool. Starting at the corner of the house, we want to mark out a 40 by 70 area in which we'll create our freeform shape. We can use the Move tool to adjust the guide once placed. We want to focus inside of this area, so we'll use Zoom Extents. With our guide selected, this button will zoom in to focus exclusively on that area. Let's start designing. VIP 3D and Pool Studio members will use pools, while Viz Terra members can use the water features stage. We'll start by using the Freehand tool, which works just like a pencil. We'll sketch out the general shape that we want to create inside of our 40 by 70 rectangle. Once our freeform shape is complete, we can go under Object Settings to modify how many arcs will appear. We can adjust the slider to choose fewer or more. We can also adjust the points that appear on the shape. This will help smooth these transitions. However, once we do, we can no longer adjust the freehand slider. Once the shape is changed, no more changes can be made with the freehand slider. Let's delete this shape and use the Arc tool instead. Before we start designing, we'll turn off our snaps and constraints, including the angle snap, to give us full freedom of movement when designing with the Arc tool. For example, if we had the grid turned on, we would snap to each grid segment. If the angle snap was turned to relative or world angle, each arc would snap to 45 degrees off the last one. By having them off, we have more freedom of movement. We're designing arc to arc. Our last arc went up, so this arc will go down. Alternating between up and down for the arcs is an easy way to create freeform shapes. We'll connect back to the first point to complete our shape. Now we can make adjustments. By using the Move tool, we can adjust the points we've added to the shape to create smooth arc transitions. If we needed, we can always delete any of these segments and draw them in again. Let's turn off our snaps and review how Auto Adjust Arc works. With the Scale tool, we can change the measurement for the radius itself. With Auto Adjust Arcs on, it smoothly makes this change. With off, it will only affect the selected arc. Turn Auto Adjust Arcs on for your shape to automatically adjust itself as you adjust each arc. We can make our shape fit inside of our borders by using the Scale tool on the entire shape. We can even type in exact values that we want to scale the shape up or down. We'll increase it by 1%, which is a little too much, so we'll reduce by 0.5 percentage point. We'll delete this shape and draw it again using a background image. This can be something that was hand-drawn and scanned in, or something from another piece of software. In Stage 1, we'll select our background. It's a little too large and difficult to see, but we can change that easily. We'll turn off our grid, and at the bottom of the panel menu, access the background controls. We'll invert the colors and set a scale. Now we'll use Adjust Image to put this inside of our 40 by 70 box. As expected, it's a little bigger, so we'll scale it down to fit. Once everything's in place, we'll use the Freehand tool to trace over the inside line of the shape. We're simply clicking and dragging with the mouse using Freehand. If you stop drawing at any time, you can continue from where you left off. We'll trace back to our original point to complete the shape. Once again, we can adjust the freehand slider to add more or fewer points as needed. Remember, once a point is adjusted or the shape altered in any way, the freehand slider can no longer be used. Let's trace this again, this time using the Arc tool. We'll start drawing with the Arc tool, but right away we see it's difficult. That's because we didn't turn our snaps and constraints off. With them off, it's much easier to use the Arc tool to create freeform shapes. We'll line up our arc to follow the inside line of the shape. Don't worry if your lines aren't perfect. We can always go back and modify or even redraw once we're done. We can also switch between tools at any time. Switching between line, arc, and even freehand is a great way to complete your shape. Our shape is complete, and it's pretty darn accurate. We can still use the Move tool to adjust any points that need. We can now hide our background and take a look at our work in 3D. Let's review our quick tips. We can use Arc or the Freehand tool to create freeform shapes, and turning off snaps and constraints makes it much easier and gives you more freedom of movement when designing. Thanks for watching. Make sure to watch our other advanced videos online at structurestudios.com. Call us at 800-778-8996 or email support@structurestudios.com.